After winning a Super Bowl last year, Jalen Hurts is looking like one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL this year. He's a top 10 PFF grade in Dalton this past week against the Vikings. He put up a career day.
He did, and so much has been talked about what's wrong with the Eagles offense through the first 6 weeks, despite the 4-2 record and a little bit of inconsistency, right? But they really found something with Hurts in this last game against Minnesota. And let's look at this first of all, just in general, 94.9 passing grade, the best of his entire career, including the 2 great Super Bowls that he played in. 326 yards, 3 touchdowns, 4 big-time throws, ties a season high, and working the ball downfield and having plenty of time to work with in the pocket to work it downfield. You really saw everything that Jalen Hurts can do as a passer. Maybe we don't see it every single week, but with A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith on the outside, the capabilities are there for this Eagles offense to succeed more consistently.
And that offensive line blocking for him, too, allows him to have a 3.4-second average time to throw. Okay, what changed really in this week? What made him so good against the Vikings?
So I think there's a handful of adjustments that their offensive coordinator, Kevin Patullo, made to help Hurts out a little bit and to create these deep shots. So you look at some of these numbers, they're all season highs, everything you see on the screen here. 5 deep completions. That was the best part of their offense this week, was hitting those home run balls to A.J. Brown, to Devontae Smith downfield, all right? With motion, 91.5 passing grade. It felt to me in past weeks like a lot of the motions in this offense didn't serve too much of a purpose. It felt like in this game they did. I'll get into that when it comes to reading coverages and things that help Jalen Hurts pre-snap. 42% of the Eagles' plays this week came from under center. That's a season high when you talk about, okay, a little more deception, a little more downhill running and getting in. Trevor talked about heavier personnel, more tight ends, even 6 offensive linemen at times in this game where the total rushing production wasn't great in this game, 94 rushing yards, but the fact that they got under center and gave you that two-way threat and threw it a little bit from under center, we'll get into that in a second. And then 61.5% of Hurts' dropbacks in this game to help out that pass protection and give him time, because he likes to have that extra time back there in the pocket. Over 61% of the time he had an extra protector, 6 or more in pass protection. When you talk about max protection and giving your quarterback time, A, to make throws downfield, and B, if he wants to scramble or improvise outside the pocket, he's got time to do it.
So let's show some examples of how Jalen Hurts diced up Brian Flores' defense here.
So we're going to start with the motion, okay? We've got a bunch right down here on the bottom. We've got Dallas Goedert solo there up top, and you've got A.J. Brown down here at the bottom of the screen in motion. What's going to happen? Okay, we're trying to figure out what the coverage is. We've got one high safety back here. We've got kind of this bunch. They're going to drop into zone and figure out how they want to handle the bunch? Well, let's find out by sending A.J. Brown to the other side of the formation, right? So we're going to go out here, and we're going to be the widest guy out here on the outside of Goedert. Now, when this motion happens, okay, what you get here, the key to look for if you're Jalen Hurts, first thing you're looking for is somebody following him. Here's Isaiah Rodgers, eyes on A.J. Brown. When you get a guy following across the formation, 9 times out of 10, now the team's going to be in man-to-man coverage. So you're going to see back here, again, single high free safety, and it starts to make a little more sense in this context, right? If Rodgers is on Brown, you've got man-to-man up here with Goedert, man-to-man here in the slot, and man-to-man. Okay, let's get to the finish of this formation now, okay? Now, sometimes what happens is they show you what they're doing when it comes to man-to-man. Also, there's times when you get in these stacked-up formations where teams can mess up switches a little bit. So you've got Isaiah Rodgers a corner here and Josh Metellus a safety playing down towards the line of scrimmage. Now, ideally, you would like Rodgers on Brown, right, 1, and then Metellus on the tight end, Goedert there, number 2. But when you get into the post-snap of this, here's what's going to happen. You're going to get kind of a smash concept here down at the bottom. Jalen's going to look to his right first. You're going to get Goedert working inside here, and you're going to get Brown at first working a little out route out here. Now, this gets switched up. Let's look at it at the top of the drop, okay? Top of the drop, the routes have been run, but what you're going to see here is this is actually Josh Metellus out here on A.J. Brown, a safety. Not a great matchup. He's on the out route for sure. You've got the corner in here on Goedert. I don't think that's how they wanted to switch that, because you generally don't want to safety one-on-one in man coverage with A.J. Brown. So Jalen before, again, he had looked to his right. There was nothing out here. Good coverage. He looks back into Goedert. He gets back to this backside, understanding pre-snap that, hey, we're in man-to-man coverage, and wait a minute, that's number 44. That's a safety on A.J. Brown. You can see Jalen over there pointing, hey, we're improvising. We're late in the play. Look at the great protection. You talked about 3.4 seconds. We had at least this on this play here. Hey, get downfield. You're going to burn a safety, no question. All of a sudden, rip it. touchdown. All right, first touchdown of the day. That's what you get there. It's that simple. Okay, so you get one-on-ones to your advantage, and you know they're there because of the motion. Let's go to the next one. We're going to go Devontae Smith this time. Same thing. Bunch right down here on the bottom. Single high safety. Maybe they're playing, outside leverage. Maybe this is cover 3. We're trying to figure it out. We've got Harrison Smith up here now across from a tight end, which makes plenty of sense. So we're trying to read man zone. Same thing. Let's get Devontae Smith pre-snap motion all the way out here to the outside. That's going to tell us what we want to know about the coverage, man or zone, right? We see single high. Now here goes Devontae. Same thing. Halfway here, we get the motion. We've got Isaiah Rodgers following. We've got a safety over a tight end. Now all of a sudden things start to make sense. This looks like man-to-man coverage. Could the alignment tell you on one side it's cover 3? Maybe, but because you had the follow here, you've got man in the slot, outside, tight end here. That's simple. All right, let's get to the end of the motion. Now, Jalen knows. This one's going to be a little more on script. Jalen knows for sure he's got one-on-one up here at the top. He's basically ignoring everything else. He goes, you know what? I like the matchup. I've got Devontae. We're going to run a go ball, and what's going to happen? If he runs by him, he beats the press easy, runs by him, he's going to chuck it deep. If Rodgers stays on top in relatively good coverage, we're going to throw it back shoulder. Very simple. We get here. Rodgers is on top. This is pretty good coverage so far if I'm defending the go ball, but Jalen's going to trust his guy. Look, he's releasing this football right now just in case we're going to get to the back shoulder. He goes, okay, I have an option here. I can do that. I can earhole this throw. Now, this ball ended up incomplete, but not by a whole lot. Maybe 6 inches high, just off Devontae's fingertips. Maybe he mistimed the jump. But when Nick Sirianni and Kevin Patullo look back on a play like this, even though it was incomplete, they're going to go, hey, good process, okay? Maybe the throw's got to be 6 inches, a little bit lower, and we've got a great explosive play here. But you can see the idea is there to get the motion going, see what the coverage is, beat man coverage. Now, we're going to get some other elements going here. That's the motion part. Now I mentioned under center. Now, they were under center more often in this game than any other game this year. Couple things I want you to see. That's number 1. Number 2, this right here looks like 2 tight ends. This here is a 6 offensive lineman. Okay, we're getting more beef up front, whether it's in the run game and showing that threat, or we're getting an extra pass protector in here, which is going to be the case. All right, so now what you get 2 tight ends. You get under center. You've been running under center for a lot of this game. You got Saquon Barkley in the backfield. Look how many in the box. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 in the box dropping down. Metellus dropping down here to the edge. Smith essentially as a linebacker. Now you've got guys in the box. So what happens? They want to stack the box. We're going to find a way to throw it over their heads. You're going to get play action, straight play action back here. You're going to get A.J. Brown on a deep in cut right in here. Goddard's going to release on the shallow, and Devontae Smith, corner, post, over the top. We've run this concept a lot in a lot of these film breakdowns we've had. A lot of teams run it. Why? Because it works. So what you get now, post-snap, we're post-play action fake. We're at the top of the drop. What the Vikings have done is brought 6. The good news is we have 6 and even 7 in protection with Barkley staying in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's max protection. Feel good about that. What the Vikings have done in coverage is run this inverted cover 2. This safety's got this deep half. Harrison stayed down low. He's got the flat. Corner going back. Cover 2, essentially vertical. He's got Devontae Smith. That's his problem. We've got one in the hole here, and we've got a flat defender. It's kind of it's an inverted version of cover 2 with a blitz in front of it. So what are you going to get? Hurts, good protection, plenty of time to work with. Smith working this head fake to the outside. All he's got to do now is cross face here and get to the deep half. That's exactly where Jalen Hurts is looking to step into the throw. We get there, we're releasing this ball with good timing. A lot of times, again, deep ball can be about timing. What's the timing? What's the old phrase, Max? What is it? If he's even,
he's leaving.
He's leaving. Devontae Smith right there is gone, and that's why Jalen Hurts is trucking this ball right now. And again, look at this pocket. Look at my 6 offensive linemen widening out this pocket. It's like nobody's back there. We're playing 7-on-7. The safety can't get there because he's got to respect A.J. Brown over the middle. That's how you create one-on-ones with play action against zone coverage. Last one. Let's put all these things. There's your house call right there. Let's put all these things together now. Now, we're under center. We got play action. I've got my 6 offensive linemen in again. We're heavy. We got 2 receivers, Dallas Goedert again, and we're going to get a motion. We're going to put all these things together. So here we go. What we're going to get this time, Dallas Goedert coming across the formation right about to this little offset position right here. That's where he's going to go, right there. Now, the difference with this motion now, You have the motion. Here we go. Nobody's following. See, before we had Isaiah Rodgers following, we saw man-to-man coverage. What we know now with this is we have zone coverage because nobody's following Goddard. Everything's just kind of shifting as a unit, so we're getting into zone coverage here. We get to the end of the formation, the final formation here. What's going to happen? Actually, the same exact play. Okay, this time it's going to be AJ on the bottom getting vertical, hopefully getting to the skinny post there. It's going to be Devontae on an inside crosser right there. We're going to get Goddard checking and working underneath right in here, and you're going to get a blitz look. We're going to go right here. Again, inverted cover 2. You're going to get the corner back in cover 2, safety back in cover 2, flat. Harrison Smith flat, he's going to get a jam on A.J. Brown, and you've got this linebacker here. Very similar look with the blitz. It's actually the same exact look and the same exact play, just a little bit different, and with the motion put in to confirm. So now we get back in the play action fake. Barkley's got the fake. Here we go. Clean pocket, extra protection. And now this actually isn't going to be as clean in a second because my 6 offensive linemen got beat out here. So Hurts is going to have to make a throw under pressure, but nothing changes. Okay, is AJ going to beat him deep? No. This deep half has inside leverage. Okay, so now we're going to wait for Devontae to clear right in there. As the tight end releases, the linebacker is going to step up and clear out this big window right here. Now Harrison Smith is going to make a play of this, but this is the right throw from Hurts. You get to where Hurts is releasing this football. You can't even see him in here because the pressure is coming, but he's releasing this football right now. It wasn't the best protection, but because you had 6, you stalled for a little bit longer. You had the opportunity to get the ball into this window, and boom, completion. Smith survives the catch through the hit. We have another big play in play action. To me, this was the game finally, in the passing game especially, where we saw Kevin Patullo, the offensive coordinator, first-year offensive coordinator, really help out Jalen Hurts with some of those motions, with more deception in the offense, getting under center, heavy personnel to help out the pass protection. Everything was a little bit more in sync, and it allowed them to create explosive plays.
So even though the Eagles have had some issues offensively, Jalen Hurts has not been an issue for this Eagles offense this year, playing like a top 10 quarterback in the NFL, and maybe, just maybe, this game against the Vikings is a sign of what's to come for the rest of the season.